Thank you.
I'm calling the August 2019 North Highlands Recreation Park District meeting to order. Okay, the second item on the agenda is approval of the minutes. So does anyone have any corrections to the July 11, 2019 minutes?
So moved.
Motion. And are you gonna second it or abstain, Pedro?
I will abstain unless I need to.
You can vote. You can vote.
Okay, I'm not too sure. Yeah, okay. I'll second that.
Still.
I will second the approval.
Okay, a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Chairperson's report. Wow. District was blessed. A couple of our staff here had children over the weekend, and everyone is very excited. So, all right. Talk about some future participants there to some
Figured we should have an audience today.
activities.
So.
All right. Oh, they're
Larry,
looking
you're going
great.
to meetings like this, dude.
Oh, they're looking. Your girls are looking awesome.
Oh, thank you. They
Two of our
dressed
staff
themselves.
had, Kyla, what are you doing? Here. Two of our staff had 3 babies a day apart.
Yeah.
Twins and one single.
Yeah, okay, go ahead and play.
All right. So I don't have anything else. Any of our fellow board members have anything they'd like to?
Got something real kind of quick. I happen to be at these swim league championships. You know, it's really great event. Really important, real great event put on by those, by all those involved. Did really well. Come out there and set a few records, and you have the opportunity to go over there afterwards and to go visit and see and the award ceremony we had. And Travis Bill put on nothing short of the first class show. It really was. So really big highlight, real huge highlight. I know even one girl happened to set a record there, so it's good to see. So it's first place, really speaks volumes of where you took the program. So a little tip of the hat to all those involved in the park. So it was good. It was good.
All right. Awesome. Thank you. Reports from standing committees. So I understand budget finance and audit will be
We'll meet next week.
So no one else. All right. Administrators report. Larry, do you have anything you'd like to highlight?
I'm going to give all 3 reports. I have no nothing to add. If you would like to ask me any questions, I'll do the best I can to answer.
All right. Do you have anything else?
I guess the only thing, so Cherry Blossom Park and the whole green belt that we're doing, is it taking more time than we thought now? About what we thought, or do we really know yet?
I think we're still learning as we go because different seasons are going to require a different amount. But I think the staff have realized that the landscaping, the streetscaping is taking as much or longer to maintain than the park itself, because there's a lot of it and it's a lot of handwork. So, but they're learning what to do and how to do it, and it'll take a little while, but they'll figure it out.
I do have to say, my husband and I swung by the development last, it was Sunday, and it's looking awesome.
Great.
So, they're doing a great job. All right, anybody else have any questions in regards to any of the staff reports? Thank you. Correspondence, there wasn't any comments and reports from citizens and organizations. No one is here today. Unfinished business, there isn't any. Item 10A, Resolution 574, declaring the intention to establish a community facilities district 2019-01 and authorize the levy of the special taxes therein to fund certain public services for the Lakeside residential development. So, Larry, are you going to?
Turn it over to Blair.
All right, thank you.
Question. We have 4 things under the recommendation. Are we doing them individually or as one? Are you, I mean,
It's one item.
this is one item, okay.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. So just to, before we get to the resolution, I'll just sort of report back to you about our conversations with Larry Lucero. If you recall, there was a couple, I hate to say issues, but just, we wanted to make sure that the district was requiring some flexibility in the use of the funds, and of course the developers are always looking for more assurances. And so out of those conversations, we were able to, he conceded the point that the inflationary index, the Bay Area CPI adjustment, was more appropriate than the Western cities. And so he agreed to that. But we did have a little bit more lengthy conversation about, if you recall, the description of services where the proceeds could be expended. And if you recall, we have language in there that says the funds for the CFD the services that shall be funded by the CFD shall include the annual operation, maintenance, and servicing, including repairs and replacements of the planned development at Sierra Creek site. So we said that you could use the funds to maintain that site, or a comparable future neighborhood park site, and future community park facilities. And so if you recall, the conversation was that he was wanting that to be within a quarter of a mile from the development, and we had that conversation. What I did was, working with Larry, is I went back to the language, the requirement language in the Quigley Act, and the requirement, the similar language in the Mitigation Fee Act. So the land that you received for Quigley in lieu fees, you're required to expend those monies on neighborhood and community parks that benefit the development. At the same time, with the park impact fees, you need to expend those monies on neighborhood and community parks that benefit the project. And so he actually proposed language, if I recall, Larry, it said something like specifically benefits, and we went push back and said, let's use the term reasonably benefit. So it's consistent with the other 2 funding mechanisms that are going to develop the park. So this would just be consistent with maintaining it as well. And from what Larry and I understood from our last conversation, that seemed to be an appropriate strategy. You're not giving up anything, any flexibility with the use of the funds by doing that. So you can use the funds to maintain Sierra Creek Park or neighborhood park, but then keeping in mind, if at the community park, if you choose to add any other facilities that need to be maintained, you can fund those with the proceeds as well. It's just that one limitation is if it's an existing facilities that you're already maintaining, you can't supplant those funds. So the resolution of intention before you this evening is reflects that change, and a couple similar little changes throughout the public hearing report, which isn't really due to you until next month. But primarily you find that reflected in the description of services. And beyond that, there were really no changes to the rating method of apportionment. And so I represent, one of Larry Lefcero's concerns was just making sure that before the petition was executed, there weren't going to be any dramatic changes. And so unless you have any, I think that we're good to go. So for the action for you tonight, just in terms of the proceedings, you have already adopted the local goals and policies for CFDs. And so that's been made as a recital that you've already have that in place, and the CFD is consistent with those policies. So tonight you have the resolution of an intention to form this CFD, which does a number of things. You're accepting the petition from the landowner, which did you receive the executed the wet copy? This is the wet signatures.
I believe we did.
Yeah, we got an electronic copy, but we probably just want to have the electronic signatures. And since that petition, so since we received petitions for you to form the CFD from 100% of the landowners, that allows the district to streamline this formation process into two meetings, tonight and then the next September board meeting. And so it streamlines the whole special tax election that's required. And so you're accepting that petition, you're expressing your intent to form the CFD, and then you're also setting the next board meeting as your date to hold the public hearing on this item. And so with adoption of this resolution, the next steps would be that the district is going to take those maps that I've provided. You've already seen that before your last meeting. It's just the attendance boundary maps, and have those recorded with the county. And then we will actually send the landowners, and I'll coordinate with Larry to make sure that it gets in the landowners' hands and they execute they vote their ballot. But we'll coordinate for them to receive their official ballot for the election, and have them make sure to return that to the district at least prior to the next meeting, but certainly as soon as possible. Sometimes it takes a little bit of effort to get that off, because I understand that the landowner is in China, so I'm going to have to make sure to
Yeah, that was going to be my question.
Yeah.
Is Larry signing on their behalf, or the actual landowners have to sign?
Well, if he's an authorized representative, yes, so I'll coordinate that with Larry. And so we'll ask them to have that ballot at the next meeting, and then just a preview for the next meeting. And you already went through this before, but just as a reminder, you'll hold the public hearing on the item, and then after that you will have a resolution to form the CFD, and then once the CFD is formed, you've actually just formed the district, right? Then you have to actually hold a special tax election to approve the levy of taxes within that CFD. And so you approve that resolution, the CFD is formed, but then conveniently you've already mailed out the ballot and sent in the ballots before you. You'll be able to tabulate the results of that election right at the same meeting. And we anticipate that it's 100% support, because they wouldn't have signed the petition to begin with. So we're not anticipating any surprises. So it should pass, and then after that, after the formation, you call for the election, and then you tabulate the results of the election, and then you announce the results of the election, all in a series of resolutions. And then after that, you'll have an ordinance before you to levy the tax. And I will, as I mentioned before, I won't be able to make that meeting, but my colleague, Valerie Flores, will be here to help you through that process. And I will also provide you a script, because there's a lot of resolutions, and so I'll provide you a script to be able to walk through all those proceedings pretty seamlessly. That she'll be here to be able to answer any questions.
And we'll open that ballot, not at the board meeting.
Yes. And technically, you don't even have to do that. I mean, the petition actually waives a lot of those requirements, but it's, proper, we still try to follow proper, we send an official ballot by mail, and we, I also include a certificate that I or my colleague is the one that placed the ballot. We've been authorized by the district to carry out the ballot. So we still try to follow some of those norms, but it's not necessary. But yeah. And then after that again, and then the last step after we form the district would be that there's a notice of special tax lien that's recorded with the county. Because remember, this special tax is actually a lien on the property, and so that would be recorded a couple weeks later, and then you're good to go. Any other questions?
No, but there's no tax generated until they're actually structures and houses.
We would just wait till either facilities are constructed in your community park or the neighborhood park, and those maintenance kick in. So.
The thing is, and we experienced this with the Cherry Blossom Park, is that the amount of special tax that you see that's going to be levied, if no homes are built in a couple years from now, that number's going to change, because it's still going to change every year. So I know that was a bit of a surprise for Silverado Homes that went up, and I said, no, you just put it in play, and it's when we start collecting money, it's whatever it is that you approved at that time.
And then, we did include that we'll be able to recover the cost of the formation also in the CFD as well. So that'll just be a cost component which you can build in. So you'll be able to recover those costs eventually.
Very good. How many years do we recover those costs over? Is that first year? Is that 5 years or 10 years we recover the initial cost or not?
It's usually over a few years, a few year period is probably the best. That's how I've done it with the
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right, I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve staff's recommendations, which includes resolution number 2019-574, declaring an intention to establish Community Facilities District 2019, the Lakes and Antelope, and authorize any levy of special taxes or services.
Second that motion.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Blair.
Thanks, Blair.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Blair.
Okay, item 11, payment of bills. So, does anyone have any questions of staff on the billing report?
So is Cindy an Excel expert now?
No. She doesn't get enough.
She went to training.
Yeah, she's going there.
Oh, she's going to train.
Yeah.
And gone. Okay.
She went to one year, she's going to a second.
All I can say is semi-unified charges is way too much for fuel, so. I'll make a motion to ratify payment of the bills.
All right, I'll second that motion.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Motion passes. The next regular meeting of the Board of Directors will be on September 12, 2019 at 6:30 PM in the North Highlands Recreation Center, 6040 Watt Avenue, North Highlands. This meeting is
Before you
adjourned.
adjourn, ma'am,
Yes.
should we also stay on the record that there is going to be a scheduled special meeting coming up in a couple weeks? Because that's actually a full board meeting, right?
Oh, okay, so our special board meeting is scheduled, is that a Wednesday?
March
or-
21st.
Wednesday the 21st.
Okay, Wednesday, September 21st,
Oh,
August. Sorry, I'm not gonna be here. So we're gonna have a special meeting Wednesday, August 21st at 6:30 PM at the North Highlands Recreation Center, 6040 Watt Avenue. This meeting is adjourned.